and odds, that's our deal. From underdogs to favorites, we break it down. Empty Field Podcast, the talk of the town. Empty Field, where we lay it all out. Breaking down games, removing all doubt. One interviews with stars, we're bringing the heat. Sports news and odds, talk that can't be beat.
Welcome to another episode of the Empty Field Podcast. My name is Mathew Hansen, and today I have the co-owner and the head coach of the Rebellion, Knengi Martin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Matt? Thanks for having me.
Doing well. Yeah, absolutely. First off, tell us about yourself.
Knengi Martin. I'm originally from the Bay Area. I've been in San Diego for about, 12 years now. I came here in 2012 to play football and to coach football. So that's just kind of what I've been doing. I've been in women's football for 24 seasons. This will be my 24th season playing. And then I've owned the Rebellion with my wife since the end of 2017.
We'll start there. What got you interested in having a women's football league?
Well, I had already been playing. I started playing in 2003 in San Luis Obispo, where I was living at the time. I played in a 8-on-8 league on this beautiful field that was out in the middle of a farm. And it was a great experience. I'd always wanted to play football. I had tried when I was a little kid, but I was always one of the bigger kids, so I would have had to age up, and my mom just didn't feel good about that. I played a little bit in high school, but I've always struggled with the academic side of things. So with the amount of practice we had and the amount of school I had, it just didn't quite work out. So I started playing football, and I've had a couple of opportunities along the way. I owned the Slow Heat in San Luis Obispo. I briefly owned the San Diego Surge here after our 2012 championship. So I owned them in 2013. And then after that, it was trying to find a program that emphasized both the business side of it and the football side of it. So forever, women's football was just a recreational sport, and the goal is to make it professional, to give these high-level athletes a great platform to not just play in, but to be able to showcase what they do. And so that has to have a business side behind it. And so my wife, Katie, is in business. She works for ServiceNow. So she is a global manager. She's a junior level executive. And so for her, setting that business foundation worked great. I've been coaching high school football for 15 years. And I've played for all 4 women's national teams that USA Football has done. So I've had a lot of experience in the game with different coaches, different levels. And so I felt like that was a lot of what I could bring. Plus I'm super social. So just like being the kind of the face of it for a long time. So that's how we ended up starting the Rebellion.
Awesome. Now let's start even earlier. What got you into football?
I was always very rough and tumble. I played ice hockey growing up. So that was the sport that I played ice hockey and basketball when I was really little. And then I had always wanted to play football. It wasn't as readily available to girls and women as it is now. And so it was just something, I think I saw it. They practiced across the street from my grandmother's house where we spent a lot of time. So I could see the high school kids there. My great uncle is in the College Football Hall of Fame. He played at the University of Chicago. So I think it's just in my blood. Like I think football has always just sort of been in me. But I didn't get the opportunity until I was 18 and I was in SLO, and someone saw me at a party and was like, "You need to play women's football." And I was like, "I absolutely do." And that was kind of what started it all.
You brought up that you were on the national team. How many gold medals did you win?
I won 4 gold medals. So there's been 4 teams, 10, 13, 17, and 22. I was lucky enough to be on all 4 of them. So I have 4 gold medals at home.
Are you going to be going for a 5th?
When they have a team, I plan to try out for it. So I've played a number of different positions there. I would probably go as the defensive lineman this last time. But I've been D-line, linebacker. The very last time I went, I was selected as a quarterback, but then I ended up playing D-line for them because they already knew I could do that. So that was kind of a fun trip, but it's cool. The first one was in Sweden in 2010, and then in 13 we were in Finland, in 17 we were in Canada, and then in 22 we got to go back to Finland. So that was really fun.
Awesome. So I was reading up on you, and it says that you are a 20-time All-Pro.
Yes.
How does longevity work on that? How do you make sure that you can keep going?
I work out a lot. I take care of my body when I am being a responsible athlete. But I think I think in truth, I was very lucky that I got in women's football when it was really like its rebirth. So it was around in the 70s and it had some strong footing, but then it just kind of petered out and it came back in the early 2000s. And like I said, I was kind of able to jump in there right around then with that rec team. And then I moved up to 11s when I moved to LA in 2009. And so I think, I mean, I'm not a small person. I'm easily just over 5'10". I've always been at least 210. And like I said, I think football was in my blood, and so it came very naturally to me. And so I've always I've always been one of the more dominant players in the game, both physically and then when I started coaching 15 years ago, the like football IQ jumped again. And so then it didn't matter that I was slower than some of those people because I understood where they were going or what the play was trying to set up or whatever it is. So, I think that's been a huge benefit to me as a player and why I've been able to be on the 4 national teams, why I've been able to be an all-pro all these times is because I understand football both physically and mentally. And so that's also something I try to give to my players, both at the high school level and at the women's level.
Awesome. Now, you're transitioning from player to head coach and still doing both. What's been the biggest like challenge between that?
Transitioning is a very complicated word because I've really been the head coach since 23 is when I took over. So this will be my third full season as the head coach. I was our head coach when we first started just because we our coaches are all volunteer coaches. We cover their travel when they're their hotel for us. We buy them food when they're out with us. We give them swag, but like there's no financial gain for these people who have coached with us. So in that, you get people that truly love football and want to give back to the game, but then you also get people who are like, oh, I'm going to miss this practice. Oh, I have to, be late for this thing. And so as the head coach, my job is to structure it so that my offensive coach or my assistant coaches can be successful. So the only thing I really try to coach is our tackling, and that's mostly because when I worked for USA Football, that was what I did. I did coaching clinics and I did tackling clinics. And so if you look at the Rebellion, we're one of the top defenses. We've been the number 1 defense for the last 3 years. It's not a stat that the league takes, but I believe that we would lead the league in like tackles, not like number of tackles, but first contact tackles, right? So like a lot of teams, a player will get there, but they will not make the tackle and then somebody else will have to come and help. I think that we are one of the top, consistent tackling teams, right? Our players are getting there and they're making the tackle. It's not that they're just getting there. They understand how to finish the play. And so that's something that I try to, whenever possible, like anytime I do all pro stuff or, cause last year I dislocated my ankle. Bad. Yeah. My ankle just got turned under me. It was fine. I'm back and moving. It's good. But like when I did that, I coached all pro. And so I made a point of talking about tackling and because I think that it's right now in women's football, that's one of the things we're lacking is you're watching it and there's all this great offense. And then defensively, nobody's teaching how to track the hip, how to, get low, how to wrap up. They're just like run full speed at them. And if you've got a good athlete, that athlete is just going to juke your player right out their cleats. So anyways, that was a long answer to your.
No, it's all good. When building a roster, how do you vision it and see it from both a head coaching standpoint and a co-owner standpoint?
So our roster is just whoever, like the people that we recruit that show up to tryouts, stuff like that. Nowadays, we're getting some free agents from the league in terms of in the WNFC, if you decide you don't want to play for the team you're with anymore, you can enter what we have is like a player portal. So you just submit all your information, let the team know that you're not coming back, and then it allows other team owners and head coaches to reach out to these players, because in the past we wouldn't have known who they were. So the Rebellion has actually, this last year we did a pretty good job in free agency. So that's been one way for us to pick up new players and new talent. I mean, realistically, the goal is to get high-level athletes and teach them football. Because, like, how many women grow up playing football? Like, aside from, like, street ball or, like, maybe flag. Flag is a very different sport than tackle. So, like, I need coachable athletes.
Okay. What separates a good defense from a championship defense?
A good defense from a championship defense, I think it's number one, communication, and I think it's number two, resiliency. In big games and championship games, bad stuff's going to happen. Things are not going to always go right. You know, when they do, it's magic and somebody's going to make a movie about it. But, like, realistically, at least one thing is going to go wrong. And so it's how you bounce back from that. Whether it's the defense, the offense, the special teams, right? It's being able to have that in you to be able to go to your teammates, pick them up, and jump back on where you started, right? Not lose a beat because you're thinking about that last play. It's being motivated by that last play. So I think communication and resiliency would be the two things that come to mind for me when you think about championship anything, but championship defenses.
Perfect. How important is it for you to build a great culture at the Rebellion?
That's a great question. Culture is everything to us. Our players know it. Our coaches know it. I think even our fans know it. That was the major thing when I took over in 23 that I really wanted to make sure that we reestablished. So, we have a BCD policy: no blaming, complaining, defending. And it's one of those things where it's accountability, right? It's saying, I messed up. I get it. Like, coach me up if I need to be coached. Because sometimes you just make a mistake. Sometimes you're like, oh, coach, that was me. I was supposed to make this read and I made this one. Like, that's on me. But it's that accountability. It's not being like, oh, well, I thought this and that. It's like, well, you're just making excuses. Why did you do it? It's like, just say, I did that. Everybody saw it. And so, like, it's also not looking at other people when things go wrong. Because if you're a leader, all that does is make that person feel worse. And it's not that you can't say, hey, we need to make sure we're filling our gaps. I need you in that C gap. But it's how you come at that person. It's how you talk to them. And so for us, the culture has been the primary thing. Because one, if you don't have culture, like, what do you really have, right? You just have, like, a bunch of athletes doing their own thing. But it's also been something that our players, our vets, are able to pass on to the rookies because they've helped build and solidify, right? It always starts at the top. Whatever the top does, the rest is going to do. That's just how organizations work. So you look at owners, head coaches, right? If the owner's super involved, it's going to be, the organization's going to mirror them. If it's the head coach, the organization's going to mirror them. And so that's the goal, right? We started at the top, and now our culture it's just pervasive throughout our program because our players embody it all the time and they share it. And so, they go to all pro games and we get players being like, oh my God, I love your team. They're so welcoming. They're so this. And that's part of our policy. I made sure there was teams that I played for. You went to the tryout and nobody talked to you. You're like, why would I want to play on this team? And so one of our things at our tryouts, we always have the vets in red, but I always make sure that all those rookies know, hey, if you have a question, talk to someone in red. They're here to help show you the way. Like, don't look at them as like, oh my God, that person's red, stay away. It's like, that's so you know who they are. That's so you can watch them do the drill. So if you have a question, they should know the answer in our program, right? And if they don't, they'll say, "Hey, let me get a coach." The coach will tell you. And so that, I think, is culture for us, right? It's from the top all the way down, and everybody buys into it, right? Everybody understands that it's that way, or we're just not the right program for you. Like, that's as simple as that. And we've had players like that.
So now, what do you do for someone, say there's a 5-year vet compared to a rookie compared to somebody coming in? What should they expect day one for the Rebellion?
Day one, I think they should expect to be welcomed. They should expect to be treated like they're already a teammate. I'm not a big fan of, like, hazing. I think you'll I don't know, let's see. We want you to feel welcome, and we want you to know that, like, anytime you get on the field, you're going to earn. You as a person, you're always welcome. You're always invited. The football side of it, like, you're here to learn. You're here to earn that spot. I think it's hard work. It's The little things. We're big on fundamentals, right? I tell my high school guys this too. I would rather we go slow and do it right than go fast and get it wrong. Because just because we are going fast doesn't make it better. Doesn't mean we're learning it any better. Doesn't mean our brain is tracking it any better. And so I think that's something that, like, you get here, we, whenever possible, slow it down. We make sure we get it right. We work hard. I believe in, like, immediate both coaching and, like, punishment. So every play, coaches are coaching. And a lot of times, like, I tell my coaches, I said, if we're not doing something, if we're not doing what you want, if you're telling us to go somewhere and we're not listening, just run us, do a sprint. And I'm part of that. Like, I'm a player, even though I'm the head coach. Like, I'll go by my coach and I'll be like, hey, we're not paying attention. Like, you should run us. You should make us do burpees. Because it's one of those things where, like, we don't have time to waste. We get 2 hours of practice twice a week to get an entire game plan in for offense, defense, and special teams. A third of our players play either one offense or defense and or special teams. So it's not like I can be like, oh, offense is over there, defense is over there, special teams over there. Everybody gets 2 hours. It's like everybody gets 45 minutes and defense gets, or special teams gets 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, you show up, it's intense. We got to get work, but, like, we have fun. We embrace you. We want you here. If you want to be part of the work and be part of the we and not just.
Stop. Before we continue this episode here, are you staying hydrated? No. Have you tried Hydrify? Man, it's not just flavored water. It's clean hydration with electrolytes that actually work. No sugar crash, no junk ingredients. Pretty simple. Hydrify keeps you sharp and fueled for the day. I use it because, man, it's simple, effective, and it just tastes real good. Hydrate smarter, hydrate better. That's Hydrify. Use promo code MTF to get 10% off your order. Just say, hey, Matt from the Empty Field Podcast sent you.
Me.
Awesome. How many times have you pulled that card like, hey, no, what, just run us? Like, they're not paying it. Just run us.
More often than my players would like to know. It sets the tone. So with my high school kids, they know that at practice, I have my little script and I'm counting what I call loafs or lazy plays. So that means the whistle blows and I look and there's not people running to the ball, right? I say, if we're doing tag off drills, it has to be elbow or below and then hips are below, because otherwise it's a high tackle. And so if I see them tag high, I just put a little tick mark. So they understand that, like, if they aren't executing in our little team segment, there's going to be conditioning at the end, right? That's one of those things. So, like, I've told that to one of my coordinators. She says, I feel like we're not executing in practice. I say, well, tell them you're going to start tracking loafs, right? People not running to the ball, high tackles, tell them you're going to start tracking it. It's going to clean up real quick because people don't want to do 10 extra sprints, right? Like, it's the same thing, if we're supposed to be jogging off the field or we're supposed to be jogging to a drill, my high school guys know if I start counting down, wherever I'm counting down from, if they're not there, they might as well just expect to run to the goal line and do a sprint or get their feet going and do some burpees, right? Because I always say we're either doing football or we're doing conditioning, because we still got to play 4 quarters. And the choice is always the players, right? The coach is there to facilitate. I'm going to lead you to the water. I'm going to try to let you drink, right? I'm going to give you some tools for the tool belt. If you choose to keep them, choose to practice them, right? All you. But, like, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to hustle over and do football, we're just going to condition. And I'm fine using the time for that too. And I've told my coaches the same thing. I'm like, if we don't want to do football, have us condition. We're still going to play 4 quarters of football. We got to survive that. So just run us. We didn't want to do football. We decided to walk over. That'll wake us up. I know it's so harsh, but, like, it works so quickly. It works so quickly because you hear a coach and they're like 3, 2, and everybody's like sprinting to the line. Great. That's all I needed. I just needed some hustle, and just, like, re-clicks it in the player brain. So anytime I feel it, I'm like, psst, you might want to think about it. I'm mature. I'm a jerk, but it's, I think it pays off because I think the harder we push in practice, the more we hold, the higher we hold ourselves to that standard, the better off we'll be. Simple as that. My truck is so full of football stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. When your football career is all said and done, what should your name represent?
I mean, I would like to think that my name will represent one of the few to ever play on all the national teams, especially since we don't know when the next one is. It's an honor to have played on all four. I think I'll be known as one of the top defensive players. I think I could also be known as one of the top versatile players. I won a defensive player of the year, and then I was nominated for a WNFC league MVP as a quarterback in 2021. I didn't win it, but that I feel like says something. I think I'm 2 points away from being the top scorer for the Rebellion, because when we first started, I was the quarterback. I was our starting quarterback, and I did that for 5 years until we got Danny Trainer, who's a great quarterback, and I was happy to be able to go back to defense because defense was where I started and play some tight end or whatever we needed. But I'd like to think it's versatility. I'd like to think it's the 4 gold medals. I'd also like to think that I just made the game better. I helped really grow it as one of the founders of it. So I don't know. That's a tough one, but I do hope I know it'll be positive stuff, but we'll see.
For sure. All right. Here's the rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Defense or offense?
This year, offense. Sorry, defense. I love you, but
Player mindset, coach mindset.
Player mindset. Rapid fire, Knengi.
Gold medal moment or a championship season?
Championship season with the Rebellion.
Okay. Film study or extra reps?
Film study.
Build the culture or win now?
Build the culture.
Loud leader or just a quiet assassin?
I'm a loud leader. I'm a loud.
One word that defines your leadership.
Concrete.
And then one word that defies you.
Loving.
Perfect. Now, my newest favorite question I like to ask is, if you could go back to talk to 10-year-old you, what would you tell him? What would you tell him?
What would I tell 10-year-old Knengi? Jeepers. Just that, well, one, that it gets better and it gets easier, but that you will find football and you will find your people and you will find your place. That, all the things that you love to do, keep doing them because you're going to turn out okay. So I give myself a little thumbs up. Yeah.
Any special shout outs you want to give?
I just like to give a shout out to all the admin and staff that works with the Rebellion. Barbie does a tremendous job. Katie, does a tremendous job. Our board does a tremendous job. And so Jojo, and Luna with our social media. But yeah, I just think our admin and behind the scenes team that sort of makes us pop on the field, I just shout out to them. Love and appreciate.
Perfect. Where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at SDRebel1147. So those are the 2 numbers I've worn.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and telling us about your coaching experience, your gold medal experience. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Fans of One T Media Production, do you guys drink coffee? Sure you do. I, myself, drink quite a bit of coffee, so I always turn to Afuera Coffee for my go-to. It's smooth, it's bold, it's not too heavy. Perfect for that early morning or when you just need to lock in for the day. The best part is, at every purchase, 5% goes back to the great outdoors. Get a bag like this. I get 2 myself. Use promo code MTF and you get 15% off your order. Guys, what's not to love about coffee, free money, and deliciousness? Afuera Coffee.
Where the action's real, sports news and odds, that's our deal. From underdogs to favorites, we break it down. NT Field Podcast, the talk of the town. NT Field, where we lay it all out. Breaking down games, removing all doubt. What interviews with stars, we're bringing the heat. Sports news and odds talk that can't be.